Hey everybody, Father Joshua here. It's April 1st. Hope you're doing all right, staying inside, staying healthy. We're doing well in our house, still practicing a little e-learning, getting our routine down for this new strange normal. We keep you in our prayers. We pray the rosary in our house every afternoon for an end to this coronavirus and also for each of you. And we know that you keep us in your prayers, and it means a great deal. St. Rita, Father Michal, and I are doing our best to keep tabs on folk. And thanks to all of you who are doing the same. For those who are reaching out to just stay in touch with people who might be isolated. And again, if you know of people we can help, please do call. Parishioners have been reaching out and calling people on our rolls, which has produced some beautiful moments of communion and connection. And so, be a part of that. And you can be a part of that yourself by merely praying, by calling neighbors and friends and those people that you know from church. On the business side of things, we're working every day to keep tabs on what it'll take to weather this storm institutionally with the least amount of damage. And I'm very grateful. We have a finance council full of quite simply just brilliant people. We've got the best business office on the planet, and so we are quite capable of acting intelligently and doing what's best for St. Rita and for all in our community. But certainly keep us in your prayers because this is a trying time. And keep all faith communities in your prayers, all philanthropic institutions, because it's this is hitting everybody, us included, and we'll get through it. But it'll take prayer and sacrifice and work and take heart. That's exactly what we're doing at St. Rita, and we'll continue to do that for as long as we need to. But keep us in your prayers, and thank you to those of you who have stepped up, definitely. Just to share a few thoughts from today. This morning, I was celebrating Mass this morning, and just as the roof guys were climbing the church to begin their repairs. It's been scheduled for a long time. You'll remember back in June, almost a year ago now, when we had those straight line winds, it ripped off parts of our roof, and only now are they being completely repaired. It's just been a scheduling thing, an insurance thing that's delayed it so long. Which again makes you think, goodness gracious, we've had quite a year with that storm and then the tornadoes in October, and here we are. We keep going from glory to glory, it seems, in the past 12 months. But there I am celebrating the Mass by myself with countless angels and saints and you in my heart. But I start hearing guys outside talking. I start hearing them climbing up and down the roof. There goes a hammer. It disrupts the silence of the Mass. And to be honest, I couldn't help but smile. I couldn't help but thank the Lord for this disruption. Because it really gave my heart heart a lesson. I remember what Thomas Merton said once. He said, it would be hopeless if the spiritual life were lived under ideal conditions. I've always been comforted by that wry truth, It would be hopeless if the spiritual life were lived under ideal conditions, because they never are. And if you search for ideal conditions in order to begin the spiritual life, you'll never begin the spiritual life, right? There will always be some sort of circumstance, always some sort of noise, always some sort of condition, either internal or external, which will make praying hard, the practice of religion difficult. It is impossible to live the spiritual life in ideal conditions. But what I always remember, what I remember this morning with guys climbing on the roof, is that still God's will is accomplished, even in unideal conditions. Still, the praise and prayer of the church continues. Still, the way of Christ is open to each and every soul. There I was, in an empty church with guys oblivious to the miracle underneath their feet, to a neighborhood, surrounded by a neighborhood and in the midst of a city, completely unaware of the miracle of the bread of life being made present on an altar, right? And just that juxtaposition of the silence and the insignificance of God becoming present on an altar, covered over construction workers, covered over a city, covered over by the noise of the world. Teaches me that God's in control, that God is still doing his thing, no matter what's going on in the world, right? And that should give you hope personally, it gives me hope personally. It should give you hope in the church, right? The doors of the churches might be locked. We might be going through this very strange time, and I certainly understand and respect, the pain and also the difference of opinions surrounding that. But none of that hinders the work of God, right? None of that stops God from doing what God does, right? The Mass is still celebrated. God is still present. He still rises in your heart. He can still come to you when you open yourself to him, God is not done, right? And so what that means for us is to have faith in that truth, and also to be faithful, not just to have faith, but to be faithful, right? To be a good soldier, to be a stalwart saint, right? This is where you get this wonderful story from the book of Daniel of the three holy children in the furnace, right? The king is Nebuchadnezzar. He's throwing them in the fire in the furnace, and he says, look, you can either recant and I'll save you, or I'm going to throw you in the fire. And they reply. It says I have it right here. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image you have set up, right? That's virtue. But if not, right? Are you a Catholic? in those circumstances? Are you a Christian in those circumstances? Do you need comfort and reward? Do you need that solace? I mean, I want that solace. I want the church. I want the gathering of the saints. You know, I mean, it's a thing I crave and desire. But if not, I will be faithful, right? If not, I will be true to Jesus Christ. I will be true to his church. I hope St. Rita gets back on her feet sooner rather than later. I hope, again, we've got tons of kids running around every day for school. I hope the church is filled on Sunday, right? I hope we survive. But if not, right, I'm a priest of Jesus Christ. I'm faithful. I will continue to be faithful. I will say Mass as long as I can get my hands on some bread and some wine. I will be with the souls that are dying, no matter what, right? You know, and so that's what we need to remember and to learn, right? There's no such thing as the spiritual life under ideal conditions. No matter what's going on, the silent work of God continues. The silent work of the church continues. And so therefore it is our job as the faithful to actually be what we call ourselves. And that is to be faithful Catholics, to live the Catholic life, to be faithful to the church, under all circumstances, even if we have to say, you know, but if not. And so hold tight to the faith. Search for those lessons that God, you know, is giving to each and every one of us in this time, because it's full of the richness and wisdom of God. In these times, God is whispering to us. We just need to listen, right? And when you hear him speak, when you hear him whisper in your soul, when he touches your heart, you will smile, right? And it will be beautiful. And you'll get through the day, and the next day, and the next day, and until we gather again. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.